what's up, everybody? Welcome to the seventh interview of Unlimited and Upgrade in Consciousness. Before I get into the interview, I just wanted to jump on here and just express my gratitude for all of you that have joined the group, that have been watching these videos, that have been benefiting and upgrading your consciousness because truly that's what this year has been about for me. I know it's been hard for a lot of people, but I've gone through a lot in my life that has led me to coming into this year truly being prepared to dealing with uncertainty, to be dealing with um, the struggles and fears that everything that came about, and and this year especially. I mean, I met so many amazing people, so many very enlightened, high vibe people that have truly upgraded me, and I'm just constantly on this ascension journey. And so this interview I think is so amazing that I just had with Jamie Lou. She's an intuitive healer. She's very wise. She's very connected, and I think there's a lot here in store for you. And we're leading in to the 21st on Monday, where we're going to be doing a live healing session in the group. So check out the interview, check out what we're talking about. On the 21st is the winter solstice and this whole grand conjunction that's happening, and this alignment in the planets that's happening. And it's really an exciting time that we're all living in. So check out the interview, and we really get into the depths of some stuff and what's happening right now. And I'll see you on the other side. All right, bye.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another interview. This is the seventh interview in Unlimited and Upgrade in Consciousness. We've been going through all sorts of conversations, and I'm so excited today to bring to you Jamie Lou, who's an intuitive healer. Um, Jamie Lou is basically an intuitive healer that's known for her depth, for compassion, accuracy, and powerful healing energy. She shares a mystical wisdom and future frequencies of the new earth, and she's an awakened telepath and empath. She's able to communicate with the energy in the body. Her expanded gifts and healing have accelerated the liberation of countless clients and students, clearing the pathway for spontaneous activations and remembrance of the soul's purpose, supernatural gifts, and ascended awareness of unity. I was able to meet Jamie in person in Mount Shasta at a metaphysical event I went to in August, and was totally touched by her energy, and was, really, really loved what she had to talk about. So I'm really excited to bring her here. And Jamie Lou, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you're about.
Hi, well, thank you so much, Vic. It's always a pleasure to be invited into these really wonderful, candid conversations we get to have.
Exactly.
I love having the opportunity to speak from the heart and to especially speak about the truth, because the things that we learn when we're waking up spiritually, it can be hard to talk about. It could be hard to address because it's like, well, who do I speak to, right? Where's my tribe? Like, where is it safe to really come out with what it is I know and what it is I'm experiencing? Because it could be otherworldly, or it could just be unusual for you, right? It could be something totally new. We're expanding into new territories, new paradigms. And when we're waking up, we're really being asked to get the courage, right? Have the courage to let go and surrender to this new path that's unfolding. So that's that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to embrace that fully and welcome it, and also talk about it. And so this is always just such a wonderful opportunity for me. I always feel personally it's a joy. It's a joy for me to be able to open up with all of you within community and talk about these things and address important questions. So this is what it's about. It's about waking up to our spirit, to our soul, and healing what stands in the way of us embodying the infinite and beautiful and radiant spirit that we are, right?
Mm.
It's the higher self. And it's multidimensional. It's a multidimensional experience. So we can have, as we go through this wake up experience, a lot of moments where we just have question, right? And we're in question of ourselves, and or we might be doubting our own experiences. And this is what I help people go through as a mentor, and as a healer, because it really is a massive healing journey that we're undertaking. Okay, it's no understating that. Waking up spiritually is about healing. It's a consistent healing journey. Coming back home to yourself, coming back home into your truth, coming back home into what it is to live, in flow and in synchronicity with natural order.
Mm. Yeah, beautiful. I feel all of those words totally. And, your energy and the way you just put that is totally profound, because it's such a journey. And it is a constant practice, a constant, work, so to speak. But, what even brought you on to this journey? I know you had some physical ailments and stuff in the past that woke you up. And so can you share a bit about how your journey was to even come into this place?
In 2012, I lived a pretty normal life that an American would live. I was working in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. I was living the American dream, right? I made my parents very proud. That was the whole motivation to my life, was to make my parents proud. Right? How many of us do that, right? On
Right.
a conscious level. It's like we're not really living for ourselves. We're living just to live, and just to make money, and just to get everybody's approval, and to somehow fit in. and
Right.
and that was the understanding and the quality of life I was living. It was just that, and it was fine. It was comfortable, extremely comfortable, but it did not feed my soul. And when 2012 came around, I said, I'm done. I've had enough of living a lie, because it got to a point where I was waking up to the truth and seeing a different perspective I haven't seen before. And that perspective said, you're not a techie, even though you've got a six-figure salary, you've got all the friends in the world, you've got a great life. It's not really your life. This isn't your purpose. There is more to do. And at the time, I was enduring a great deal of disease in my body. So even the height of my success in my career, and the love I was receiving from friends and family, I was incredibly lacking love. You know what I mean? I felt like I was lacking love within myself and within my body. My body didn't feel nourished. My body didn't feel like it was thriving. Yet all other aspects of my life appeared to be thriving. So I knew this wasn't adding up. This wasn't feeling correct, right? In my soul. It wasn't feeling like aligned. And I was wanting to experience alignment. I was wanting to experience what it would be like to really be in love with life, and to be in love with myself, because I didn't know what that was. all I knew all I knew was how to be really, really good at being successful and being the best. Okay, that's what I knew how to do. And I did it not for myself, I did it for others, so they could like me, they could love me. Right? I could feel a sense of belonging, I could feel a sense of comfort. Otherwise, I'd be very, very uncomfortable with my surroundings, and that's because I'm an empath. And this is something I help a lot of other energetically sensitive individuals as well, those who identify as empathic. Because with empathic, the energetic infrastructure of the empath, is we have a tendency to take on the energies of our surroundings, right, and the energies of other people. And when we're in touch with those energies more so than we're in touch with our own self, we then give. We're wanting to serve and give over our energies to comfort them, right? And to kind of take care of them and to nurture them. So this was my predicament. This was my predicament. I was classic overachiever, right? And I was classic wounded empath. Wounded empath in that I gave so much to others, overgiving, 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 to the point where I was becoming sick. So sick that the doctors couldn't help me. So I had about four diseases at one point in my body: heart failure, thyroid failure, hormonal imbalances, all sorts of problems, serious gut problems, and the doctors couldn't help me, and no one could really help me, and that's because I need to learn how to help myself, right? I needed to learn how to heal myself. And so that was 2012 for me. It was the big wake-up call. I knew it. My soul spoke so loud and clear. It said, Jamie, your body can heal itself, but you need to stop what you're doing. You need to stop all of this. Stop the lie you're living. Stop putting energy into others and start putting it into yourself. And I know that might sound really selfish, but it's not. It's not. To learn what self-love is, especially when you've been trained and taught to believe to not love yourself, okay? And I think that's the Western mindset. You know, we are trained to go get it. We're trained to be successful at no matter what cost, right? Go get the money, hustle. We're trained to do that. And we will do it, you know, at the cost of health. We will do it at the cost of relationship with others, you know, the love of others. We'll do it at the cost of family and connection. We will do that. We'll do it at the cost of spiritual connection. So once I woke up to that, I knew that this was way out of alignment. This was not the life I wanted to live. It was not the way my energy wants to flow. So I decided to do something about that, and I took radical action and left the country and spent about 7 years traveling the world altogether, and living in Indonesia, where I apprenticed with some masterful healers. I wanted to know all about energy healing, sound healing, metaphysical practices that could help me, because nothing that modern medicine, you know, and I tried. I spent a lot of money and effort and energy, and unfortunately I wasn't getting the satisfaction or results. So I went the alternative route, and I learned so much, not only in terms of skill, okay, and new perspective, but also wisdom. And it was the wisdom that saved my life. It is the wisdom that heals us. You know, it really is this deeper truth that's already within our DNA. And I believe we are here, for those of us who are waking up, we are here to remember. We're here to remember our own wisdom within us. And once we regain that light, you know, that truth and the discernment within us, life changes. Life changes in unimaginable ways. Like I can't even say it gets better, you know, because it just feels like an understatement. Yeah, it'll get better. Absolutely. When you find yourself and you heal yourself, life absolutely gets better because you're in the flow finally. Right. But beyond that, you're now also in the mystery. You're in the new paradigm. You're in the unknown. You're expanding beyond what you even thought you were capable of, and beyond that, and beyond that, and beyond that. We're really talking about entering the zone of beyond your imagination. Like, how good can life get beyond what you could even fathom? That's the kind of life, right, that I'm talking about here. And I was in search for that. And I'm happy to say that I know because I'm experiencing it on a day to day basis, that we are miracle makers, that we can not only just heal our bodies, but we can do so much more. We are creator beings. We can create the livelihoods that we want and beyond what we want. Really, it's what we all deserve, right? That we all came here for. And that brings me into the topic of New Earth
Mhm.
and the bigger dream, the greater dream of the mother, the Earth Mother, our planet, that which is a sentient, living being, and she is ascending with us. Okay, and she holds a dream for all of us, and we're all connected to that dream. And that dream is one of, prosperity for all beings, thriving for all beings, health and wellness for all. Okay, it's like no one's left behind. And what is required of us in order to manifest and realize this dream so we can all be living it together, what's required of us is for each and every one of us to go on this deep healing journey where we come into contact with the shadow aspects of ourselves and the consciousness within ourselves that prevents this very dream from happening. Okay, I call it subconscious resistance, tension, fear, trauma, all of it. It's all there within the body, as much as the answer and the wisdom is within us. Also, the lies, the deceit, and the resistance to that wisdom, to finding that wisdom, is within us as well. And what I teach my students and what I take my clients through in sessions is that the only way to get to the liberation that you seek is through. It's through the pain, it's through the fear, it's through your shadow. You got to do it. You got to meet your shadows. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck in only one dimension, right? Living life from one dimension, one plane, and it's very limited. It's very much like all I can see are my worries, all I can see are my doubts, all I can see are my fears, and all I know is their doubts and their fears. And so we're just all going to do the doubt and fear game together and create our life from there, right? Okay, that's the third dimension. That's most people in their living their collective nightmare.
Right.
And what I help people do is, okay, that's just one plane of you. Now let's expand and explore other possibilities here and how you can connect with the infinite potential within you. And that is here in the multiverse. It's in existence. It's all infinite. It's all possible, right? And it's all love. So how can we move from one plane of existence that is fear-based to the multi-plane of existence that which is love and eternal? That's the great adventure.
Right. My journey started in 2006 when I had my accident that left me in a wheelchair, and it opened me up to asking a lot of questions. I got a book, I think it was by Robert Greene. It's called A Hidden Reality, which is all about these theories of the multiverse and all these different possibilities that exist and that were holograms of each other. And that's what really kind of started me into really thinking. And I got into spirituality and I met many teachers. And that's when I really got into my own healing work, because so many people I saw were healing from doing this inner work from their own diseases. And my motivation, really since 2011 was like, one day I'm going to get out of this chair. And as long as I keep like getting rid of, all my shadows and like seeing all that and being the light, I'm going to heal. And that was my focus for a long time, to just keep. And so, fast forward till today, and I'm still in the chair, but like my perception of reality and just like you said, yeah, it gets better. It totally gets better, but it's on a whole other plane of existence because you're connected, you're tuned in, you're in cooperation, right? You're living in cooperation with the earth, with the universe, because you're seeing synchronicities. You're seeing all these coincidences that you're thinking about things and they happen, and you're seeing the relation to that, and you're following the signs, and so it becomes this like grand adventure. And that became my inspiration to also do the work I do as a spiritual coach, because it's really changing that perception that everybody, especially now, is focused on the news and focused on COVID, and there's so many things to worry about. There's so many things to fear, and if you're not fearing, like, what's wrong with you? And something's wrong with you, and we get into that. But like when you can really just realize that this is all pointing to deeper aspects of yourself that need healing, and the more and more you clear that energy, you're in this like open space of existence, and that's where the magic happens, right? That's where beauty happens. I see it all the time with, like, I'll have clients call me, they're like, oh my god, this just happened, I didn't even do anything. And I'm like, yeah, exactly, we're talking about magic. We're talking about like the life you were intended to live, and we're just all been conditioned and brainwashed for however many generations this has been going on, to live a certain way. And you're right, it's most people that are kind of stuck in that. And so when it comes to the shadow work, when it comes to really uncovering this stuff, it's scary. And and to even live this life, it's about, to be able to trust the unknown is like so unheard of for so many people. Like, we have to have all our ducks lined up, and we have to think about all the possibilities, and prepare ourselves for the worst case scenarios and all that kind of stuff. So what further direction can you portray on encompassing uh being in this mindset and like truly living the journey in the unknown in this manner?
Oh yeah, that's the big one, huh? How to sustain your true vibration.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it it took me a really long time. It to get to that place. Again, it's a journey. And you know all the other times where we might feel frustrated with ourselves because we feel like we're not there yet.
Oh my god, there's so many times.
Right? Well, that's because you know, there might be a program there, a shadow program, where we were taught uh, to be very goal oriented, right? To achieve the goal. That's one of the things I've had to unravel and let go of.
Over
Seven
and over and over again, right?
over and over and over again, yeah. Being consistently good at achieving the goal, and to the point where I've lost touch with, just being here, being present, and creating my life from this now moment. That's very different. It's a very, very different set of creation law, if you will. Okay, I kind of like to look at it as law or rule, because especially coming from the tech world, the way that I see it, okay, is that this is a simulation. Our life, what's happening out here, is a simulation, and we're programming it. We're constantly programming it. We're constantly typing in the code, and those are our beliefs. So whatever it is we believe in, that's what's going to show up in our simulation. It comes down to a belief. That's the code. So let's say, let's look at a good shadow program here. Okay, so like, let's say you have financial problems. If you were born into the code, okay, so you were coded with the program where you believe that money is the root of all evil, okay? Money's terrible, it's just evil. So right away there's a judgment on this energy of money. So if you're encoded that way since you were a child, well, you're gonna grow up experiencing financial problems. It could be crippling, right? You and your relationship with money. It could be absolutely crippling because you're doing this energetically with it. You believe it's evil, therefore you're pushing it away. Okay, that's an example of a belief controlling your life, and that's what beliefs do. They're completely governing our our external reality and what shows up, what manifests in that reality. I found out when I was afflicted with heart disease that the only reason why this was showing up for me and why I was experiencing it in my simulation was because I was holding on to the belief that it's bad to be angry, right? Like I can't do that. I can't experience anger. It's not ladylike. It's something I was taught very young. You don't get angry and you don't talk back, right? So that's not living true, right? That's not natural. There is a natural code, right? There's life code, and then there is the program that we're given and that we create. We're constantly creating it. Our parents create it. Our ancestors create it. And they have their reasons. And usually it's for the reason of surviving, right? Survival-based programs. So we kind of inherit this when we grow up. And so I had this one as a child, anger's bad. So what did I do? I subconsciously suppressed my anger and choked it down and choked it down and choked it down until one day when I was 25, it became heart disease. All right, that's what happens. This is what happens. When I finally got a hold of that and I saw it and I brought my love and compassion to that program, then it transmutes into something else. You see, it transforms. And now that program isn't ruling your life anymore. You have the power to change it. And you can rewrite the code at any time. It's all about your beliefs. So this is what I help people do. We go into the subconscious and we do it through sound healing. You see my crystal bowls here. Sound offers us the ability to access that subconscious realm and reprogram what's in our DNA. So a lot of these survival-based programs that can really keep people from entering the unknown and moving forwards and upwards in their ascension process, we can actually do something about those blocks. We can do something about whatever is holding you back. It doesn't have to be a constant struggle with yourself, right? A constant push and pull with yourself. You are an empowered, infinite creator being. If you created all of this, then you can uncreate it. You can, absolutely. And then you can create something else. And that's the truth of it, okay? Like once you understand that and you realize the truth of that, then you come home to your very center and you can start creating from the now, right? It can only happen right here, right now. You've got to really understand what the power of presence is and how that can work for us, right? That's where the change happens. Yeah. So, okay. So we're giving some good examples about disease, but not all disease actually wants to heal, or it's not in your life path to heal a disease. Sometimes that happens too, and that's because, well, it's not because you're not good at changing your programs. No. Okay. I've had clients who they're surprised that the work that we do didn't really get the result that they wanted. Well, that's because there's something deeper, right? This is all happening for our learning and growing. It's all happening to get us to the wisdom and back to the life code, okay? Natural life code. And that's the wisdom. So let's say, the disease isn't meant to change because the disease isn't the problem, right? And we've been looking at it like it's the problem, like this needs to be fixed, right? But perhaps that's the problem. Perhaps that's the program right there, that we're not truly accepting ourselves and loving ourselves to the point where we think, oh, there's still something yet to fix, right? So it's amazing just how deep the rabbit hole goes and how many programs, these shadow programs, how many there are. And they exist on so many different levels of our consciousness and of our being. That's why the healing journey is a journey. It's this constant deepening and unraveling of ourselves, and becoming ever more aware of what is true and real, you see? And once you really start seeing the reality of things, then it becomes easier to know that what's happening out here isn't real at all. Okay? What's happening out here, US elections, coronavirus, all this stuff, I'm not saying it's a hoax, but what I'm saying is it's not worthy of my energetic attention and me feeding it. Because that's what I did when I was asleep. That's what I did, and it got me unhealthy. See what I mean? Feeding that, attending to that, thinking that right there matters more than my connection or my ability to create. No, it doesn't. So when you know you're living in the real world, you're living with that connection online, not offline. You're living with it, and you're living as an empowered creator being, actually using it, applying it, taking action on it. This is what we're here to do, and we can help others realize this too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And coming into this time where, I mean, what a year 2020 has been, right? With all this stuff that's been going on, from elections to coronavirus to, and I see it as, this is everybody on the planet has been facing their stuff, whether they realize it or not, with the, intensity of everything that's been coming up. And so, there's a lot of darkness that we all have, and there's a lot of and with all of the triggers that are coming up for everyone and showing up for them, what is going on during this time? What are we supposed to do moving forward? I know, we touched on doing the shadow work and all this stuff, but how can we really perceive what's happening in our reality right now and using it efficiently for our growth?
Intuition.
Mm.
Yeah. You're questioning. It's a great question, and it's all about harnessing our intuition, and not just harnessing it. Okay, not just tapping into it, but trusting it. Trusting it, having a healthy relationship with your intuition, having a true connection to it. And this is where I help a lot of people begin their healing process. Believe it or not, it's right here in addressing, well, what is your relationship to your intuition, right? Can you trust yourself? Do you experience some kind of sense, right? Inner sense that you can't explain, that guides you to the right action, right? Or the next step, that which is clear, and that's what you need to take. Without that inner guidance system, we won't be able to know what to do. Okay? That inner guidance system is everything. So, one of the first protocols, if you will, when I have someone who's working with me in one of my programs, so we look very, very closely at what is going on with their relationship to their intuition. I know with most women especially, for some reason, they tend to have this pattern where they have completely disconnected themselves from their intuition, and they no longer trust it. And that's because of, again, childhood conditioning and upbringing, what we learn from society and culture. Oh, that's all woo-woo, right? Intuition has no holding or value when compared to, say, logic or practicality, right? So right away, there's this division happening in the mind that says, oh, okay, intuition's bad. So we, again, start to suppress that energy. Anywhere where we're suppressing ourselves, that needs to be liberated first and foremost. Otherwise, you're not going to feel that connection. You're not going to feel yourself. You're not going to come home to yourself, because part of yourself is not there, you see? So we need to regain and reclaim these parts of ourselves. And then we need to learn how to be in right relationship with these parts of ourselves, right? If we didn't have a childhood that which embraced healthy intuition, then of course, this is going to be a learning curve for us. It took me several years to really understand and experience what my intuition feels and sounds like. You know what I mean? Everybody has different ways in which they intuit information, but everyone can do it. Everyone is psychic, okay? It is just that, again, we're not brought up in a culture that really embraces that. And so that gift is usually suppressed, and those channels are shut down until we learn to honor it and we learn truth about it. Like, what is it all about, right? How does it work? I mean, it actually gets very scientific. It's just a part of us. It's nothing to be afraid about. And when it's online and operating the way it should be operating, we now have a tool that which helps us, guides us, and informs us of the information and the energy we need in order to not just survive, but thrive. I believe thriving is, in order to really experience that, you need intuition. You need to have your intuitive, skill that needs to be available to you. And indeed, in survival, you need it as well. Well, your intuition is your instinct, right? With these shadow programs, I keep finding it in most cases, these reversals. That's where the natural life code that we're given originally is reversed. It's reversed, and that yields really dangerous and harmful effects in our simulation, okay? A good example of a reversal is a reversal on fear, okay? So your fear response. There is healthy fear, all right? Healthy fear is like instinctual. It's going to keep you alive. It's essential for survival, right? That's healthy fear response. But I'm noticing that a lot of modern day people are inflicted with reversals on their fear response. And so what they end up doing is creating a lot of irrational fear and going almost by default into worry, anxiety over every little thing, okay? As if it could all go wrong, and that's the default. So again, belief systems, if that's your belief, because you've got a reversal on your fear, your essence of fear, then unfortunately you're suppressing your natural fear response. So if something bad were to happen, right, like say there's a terrorist event that happens and you're potentially in harm's way and it's happening, but you don't have a healthy fear response because it's reversed into some kind of belief that, oh no, I'm going to be fine, I'm in comfort, everything's okay, it's like this apathy, then you're likely not going to move. You're going to be like deer in the headlights when this thing happens, and you won't know what to do because your fear isn't working for you, you see. It's working against you. And I'm seeing this today where it's like, a lot of people, if something kind of out of nowhere were to happen, a lot of people, it's like first response, pull out the cell phone. You know what I mean?
Avoid.
It's not like, oh my God, run, like go do something to make sure I stay alive. It's let's capture that on film, or let's pretend everything's okay and don't respond, right? I see that a lot. And that is a reversal on healthy fear response. Or another thing could happen where it's like they go into reaction. If it's not suppression, then it's reaction. And the reaction is, oh my God, I'm freaking out, right?
Right.
And might cause their own, panic attack. So this, unfortunately, is the state we're in. Okay. I wish this wasn't the condition of most people, but this is what's going on. All right. And those who are awake can see this. You can feel it. You can feel it because it's that intuitive sense that's helping you to feel the truth that says, this isn't natural, right? This isn't correct. This isn't like helping life.
Mhm.
This has the potential to take away from life, right? So having your intuitive aspect turned on, the one inside of you that is connected to source and has healthy intuitive sense, is vital. It's absolutely essential to this waking up process, and to be able to live your life with ease, with grace, with freedom, is very important. So a lot of the healing work we do is to help liberate that intuitive connection.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that leads perfectly into what I want to talk about next, because about a month and a half ago, I was just got this intuitive sense that I want to go to Sedona. I've never been to Sedona, and it was just coming through. Like, I got to go to Sedona, and it was weird. And I just kind of I brushed it off a little bit. I was like, okay, we'll see. And something in me was just saying, you gotta go to Sedona in December. And a couple weeks later, I talked to a very other connected spiritual friend, and out of the blue, she's like, "Are you thinking about going to Sedona? Because if you're thinking about going to Sedona, you should go to Sedona." And I said, "Okay." Thought about it a little bit more. Still didn't do anything about it. A week later, my friend hits me up, and he's from California, and he was in town. I live in Texas. He was in town because his parents live here. He's like, "I'm in town for the holidays. Let's hang out." And I said, "Yeah, cool. Let's hang out after Thanksgiving." And he said, and he goes, "Yeah, by the way, I just came back from Sedona. You would love Sedona, dude." And I'm like, "This is insane." So the next day, like, I'm not going with anybody. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It feels ridiculous, right? It's like, I'm not making any plans. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm going to Sedona. And I only knew like two people that are in the area. And I just reached out to them, and I was like, "Hey, if I come over there, like, can you hang out with me? Because I'm just coming, and I don't know why I'm coming." And so I booked everything. And then we had already planned to like have this conversation for December. And so it was about a week after that, I messaged you to schedule your interview. And my knowledge of you was that you lived in Mount Shasta. And so when I got your interview, I saw the time zone, and I was like, "Huh, the time zone says Arizona. What's up with that?" And then I reach out to you. I was like, you in Arizona? What's going on?" And you were like, "Yeah, I'm in Sedona till the end of the year." And I'm just like, boom, like mind blown. Like, this is crazy. And so now we're planning for I'm going this Friday to the 18th to come to Sedona and hang out. And I'm going to meet you in person again, and we're going to hang out. And on the 21st, we're doing a sound healing energy session on the 21st, which is also the winter solstice, and this great conjunction, this amazing planetary alignment that's happening on this day. How amazing that all of this has been orchestrated for us to have this moment. So, what's happening on the 21st on this planetary scale in your perspective? Um, you know, me being led in this way for us to connect like this, and what are you going to be doing on the 21st with us?
Well, hanging out with you, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Get used to that, right? Your noodle getting cooked.
Oh yeah.
That's the way life can be, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, I
It's
love that.
awesome. That's what it's like living in the now, you know?
Exactly.
Um, Life just shows up for you and lets you know where you're needed, right? That's the way it works. So there really is no sense in making plans. thinking into the future and preparing. You know, all the energy and time I used to put into just making plans and making sure I had all my ducks in a row is gone now. I don't do it. I don't do it anymore because I live in the now. And it's so much easier this way because life just flows from my intention. And and so I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised that Sedona called you here at this very important time. A lot of light workers have been called here, I'm finding out, during this time. And that has a lot to do with the planetary grid. So I'll just do a little education, and then we'll talk about the solstice. So ascension is about the liberation of this planet and humanity. It's something that happens in consciousness, right? Our consciousness is shifting. It's raising, literally the vibration, the frequency of our consciousness is raising. And that's why so many of us are getting triggered. And that's an opportunity to really look at the shadow selves, and to get to, you know, to realize some things about ourselves, that it's not about taking anymore, right? It's not about lying. It's not about manipulating. It's not about being in control. Okay. It's not. All of this is old paradigm, old consciousness. We're shifting into a whole new consciousness. And that consciousness at the very core of it is absolute unconditional love. Unconditional love. So we might be learning a lot, you know, about what true love is beyond the belief, you know, beyond what we were born to believe love was. So be open to a whole new consciousness, a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of seeing and experiencing life, because we are being called, as we ascend and shift, we are being called to let go of our beliefs about everything, and allow them to be redefined. A whole new definition happening on all levels. So this is profound. It's profound what the ascension is, you know? And it's all happening for us, and everything in life is working towards our liberation. It's working towards our ascension, okay? So the planetary grids is really what supports us the most. It's the reason why the planet is ascending. It's the reason why people, as a collective, we are going through this and we're experiencing this whether you know it or not, okay? It's happening and it's inevitable. It can't be stopped. I mean, it can be messed with, and then there are definitely energies out there that are resisting the ascension, so they're messing with it. You know, there are agendas out there that are trying to suppress this whole event that's occurring right now, and it won't work. It's not going to happen. It's inevitable. This is natural law. It's life code. Okay, it's something that comes from source. It's something that has already been decided. If you look at astrology, if you study astrology, you'll see that it's encoded there. You're going to see December 21st as a date, a time where, you know, you have the perfect alignment, the energetic alignment for a big shift to occur in consciousness. And the energetic grids that surround the planet are prepped for this shift to happen. So, you know, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, this is going to be some big event and we all just wake up one day. It's not that at all. But December 21st is a time in space where another wave, a really big wave of light, showers the earth and stimulates these grids that we're all connected to, and therefore impacts us. It impacts people in our consciousness. So those of us who have already been riding these waves, these ascension waves, and my story starts in 2012. I don't know about you, Vic, but I know people who have been, you know, moving through their ascension ever since the 70s, and earlier. So the planet has been receiving a lot of light and light codes, um, that works to stimulate, these cause these waves in consciousness to happen. It's like a ripple effect, and it's been amplifying ever since 2012, and that's due to the work of light workers. It's due to the people who meditate and who see the value of their spiritual growth. They see the value of presence, and they're all about it, and they're dedicated, they're devoted. And so, they come together in groups and they meditate, or they come together in groups and do ceremony, or in circle, or the people who work with the grids, the people who work with sound, with energy, and also all the people who are working on themselves, right? Every time we heal ourselves, this causes a ripple effect as well. It's a massive impact on the rest of the world. So know that this has been happening. This has been happening, for a really long time. People waking up, people doing their work, right? People coming into presence, getting connected, and bringing through many levels of light down here to the earth, so everyone else can also receive in that light. And it's just a matter of time for all of the work that we've been doing as light workers to reach a crescendo. And that's what I see December 21st as being. Astrologically, everything's in alignment to allow this crescendo to happen, where an impact will be felt. And I'm curious, because I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm curious if that impact will be felt among the masses. But I do know on a personal level that the star seeds and the ones who are here to remember and wake up their the genetic remembrance in their DNA, because we've ascended before, those of us who are the star seeds. My feeling and what I see clairvoyantly is that the star seeds are going to turn on like that. It's like someone turned on the light switch, and we're going to get more access to past life memories, past life codes, information, insights, abilities might awaken, things like this. But certainly the frequency within the star seeds have the potential to skyrocket during this time. So is there anything we need to do? No, you need to do nothing. Okay. But if you wanted to do something, right, then be there for it. Just drop into presence, drop into the now, be a yes to receiving the goodness that could come out of all the work we've been doing, right? And receive in the frequencies that you need and that you're asking for. I think it's an amazing opportunity, December 21st, to receive.
And so now we're going to be, anybody wants to partake, we're going to be going live on Facebook on December 21st. And I haven't even talked to you about this, but I have it kind of set for 3 p.m. Arizona time. Is that gonna work? So 3 p.m. Arizona, so 4 p.m. Central Time, we are gonna go live on Facebook to do a healing energy session to receive in the energies that are coming in on December 21st. And so anything you want to say about that for anyone to what to look forward to in that session?
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Well, no, and I don't want to. Well, I get no right away because my heart, my soul doesn't want to ruin the surprise, and it's always better when it's a surprise, and we can come into an opportunity together to really surrender. Right? It's just to let go of the control, let go of needing to know, let go and just be a yes to infinite possibility, and to receiving in what it is you need for your rise. Because this is what it's all about, getting you to a higher frequency. That is what changes lives. Okay, that's what changes the simulation here. So, anything that you don't like that's happening in the simulation, it can change, absolutely. But it's through the wisdom, right? It's through that wisdom. So, yeah, I see December 21st and calling this group together as an opportunity to receive in your own wisdom and to wake up cellular memory, gifts, insights. Oh, yeah, remembrances. I'm already feeling it deep within that have been suppressed, that have been on lockdown, um, and that now can come in with celebration. We could celebrate this time together because this is our time. It is our time to wake up. It is our time to ascend yet again. And I speak to those who have ascended before. Many of us has come back to the planet to do this again. We're like masters of ascension. We know exactly, the drill and what to look out for and what to pay attention to, right? And what not to pay attention to. So I'm especially speaking to those individuals who just have a knowing already resonating within themselves, come with that. Come with that, because the more open in your yes, the more you receive. And if you feel tension with that, if you feel like, ooh, I feel like I'm a little bit resistant to what she's talking about, just breathe. Maybe work with Vic. Practice, right? Practice getting into the now, because all of life is presenting opportunities all of the time. There is never a shortage of opportunities. Never. Never believe in the lack programming, okay? You just, we don't want to continue to suppress our birthright. It really is a birthright for us to thrive, all right? This is what we are here to do. This is why we can create and why we have creative energy that runs through us all the time. It's just a matter of unraveling these false programs, these shadow programs and reversals, or reversals are happening in your life, so you can reclaim that birthright to live and love, and be free. That's when life gets really juicy and yummy and the fears just fall away. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so I can't wait to come and meet you in person and hang out and be on. And everybody interested, you're watching this, come out on Monday and join us live. If you can't join at 4 p.m. Central, you can check it out on the replay, and it's going to be there for you. So really come in, feel in the energy, take in this new upgrade that we're all getting, and see you on the other side, kind of thing. So thank you, Jamie, for doing this interview with me. I'm so excited to see what unfolds in the next few days, and yeah, and beyond, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Vic. This was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll see everybody next time, and make sure you're there on Monday. Have a good one, y'all.